to take a step out, get some air now, let your edge out.
Hey y'all, it's me, Melody Darby. Welcome to my channel. If it's not your first time watching, welcome back. We are barefaced today because we are talking about skincare, and more specifically, something that's very near and dear to my heart, adult acne. So today I'm going to be chatting about a few products that I have been using and have been really successful for me and that I have enjoyed. And in this hunger game of acne products, it can be very tricky trying to figure out what does and does not work. For me personally, I dealt with acne a little bit in high school and things like that. I feel like very normal. I even tried to take a medication one time in high school and just those kind of, you know, proactive, the regular teen things. But as I became an adult, it kind of subsided a little bit. And I even had a stage during COVID where my skin was like, oh my gosh, glass skin. It was perfect. I got into chemical peels and things like that, and my skin was really flourishing. As I made some recent, within the last year or so, changes, dietary, I became plant-based, and I got off certain medications like birth control, I didn't realize the impact that those drastic changes would have on my skin. And my skin went crazy. Hormonal acne specifically was being sustained by things like birth control, and my skin just went haywire. So I'm finally at a stage where my active breakouts are a lot less frequent, and I'm kind of more so dealing with the scarring and things like that. So I wanted to give my 2 cents on the products and review the ones that I have really enjoyed. So enough chatting, let's jump into some products. So you guys already know every product I am mentioning will, number 1, be in the description box, and number 2, also be linked anywhere that I can put them, like my Amazon store. So that'll all be listed there. But I want to start with cleansing. The cleanser that has been most successful long-term for me is going to be the Dermalogica Clear Start Foaming Wash. So this is actually a really good sized bottle, and it lasts a really long time. But for most of these, you will notice you're going to hear a lot of the same ingredients. You're going to hear salicylic acid, you're going to hear AHAs, BHAs, hyaluronic acid, benzoyl peroxide, things like that in a lot of these. So just to kind of lead with that, so this is a foaming wash. This is their breakout clearing foaming wash. The Clear Start line in general is a line that I have really enjoyed. I've tried a few different products from them, and I feel like they are always helping to treat my acne without over drying. And I just really like how simple this face wash is. I don't feel like it's too many chemicals or trying to do too much. My face isn't dry after. Some acne products will really dry your face out, and they're really strong and really aggressive. This, for an over-the-counter, I feel like is just strong enough, and I definitely see a reduction in my breakouts when I use this, especially morning and night. So also looking at cleansing, this is the Curology Body Acne Wash. So this one is a 2% salicylic acid. Salicylic acid has so many L's and C's to me, so Grammar Patrol, I apologize in advance, but this is a 2% salicylic acid treatment, and I really like this one because I have dealt with issues before of back knee or chest issues, and this really just helps kind of keep everything under control. I say specifically for those kind of issues, little things like taking your sports bra off and showering as soon as you come back from the gym, wiping equipment down, little things like that can really make a difference in body acne. But I find that this is a good, affordable choice for any kind of all over acne that you want to use if you just want to have something different than just your face wash. So cleansing wise, these are my 2 go-tos, and I have really been enjoying both of them. Okay, so now that we have cleansed our face, let's talk mask. So this is not my first time mentioning this mask, and it will not be my last. The Aztec clay mask is a tried and true. When I tell y'all, I have not even, this is not exaggerating one bit, I've had this 10 years, easily, more than that, but I've easily had this for 10 years. This, you need such a small amount of this Aztec clay, whether you are mixing with water or you're doing the apple cider vinegar and you're adding turmeric to it, however you like to do your mixture for your mask, this is so good. I know people who use it as a hair mask for clarifying, but if I'm having a like breakout, like my skin is really going crazy and I need to reset my skin, her. Now this is more of an intense mask, so I would not do this more than once a week at the most, really like once or twice a month, because this is truly going to pull all those impurities out of your skin and really pull anything to the surface, dry anything out. This is such a great classic, tried and true. I remember my aunt putting me onto this mask when I was maybe in middle school or high school. So this is a classic. This is a go-to girl. For more topical breakouts, or if I want to do something a little more gentle and daily, the blackhead clearing fizz mask. This is also from Dermalogica's Clear Start line. I really like this mask because it's really gentle. So when you put it on, I think I actually did a reel on this. When you put it on, it kind of starts to fizz up and kind of create like this little bubbly layer, which you can see. And when you wash it, you can actually use the remaining as a face wash, and it is not harsh. Again, I feel like I could do this every day and it'd be fine. This is just really targeting above the skin whiteheads and blackheads, but it's gentle still. So you still have the gentle aspect of it, which I think is really important in a mask, but you still have those active ingredients to still see a difference when you're using this consistently. Okay, we have cleansed. We have done our mask. Now let's talk serums. I am going to put the link to the video up here because that is probably my most popular video ever on my channel, period. But I discovered the ordinary salicylic acid solution during COVID, and I have not stopped using it since. So this is basically like a concentrated solution of that active ingredient that we were talking about. And literally you just put it on any of your trouble areas. I like to kind of pat it in, let that dry, and it really helps target those areas. It's not flaky, it doesn't have a white cast or anything like that, but you're just going straight to give me the ingredient. None of the extra stuff, just give me the ingredient. So once you cleanse and do a mask or anything like that and your skin is nice and clean, you are ready to like really go in with those treatments. This is one that I love to use consistently, and again, I don't feel like it's too astringent. I don't feel like it is drying my skin out. I don't feel like I have any redness or any issues like that. So I like to keep this one just as a go-to girl. Looking at, she's almost like a serum mask. She's a little bit of both. This is, again, I did not notice how much of the Dermalogica Clear Start was in this routine. This is the Breakout Clearing Liquid Peel. So this is one that you're gonna do once a week or once every 2 weeks at the most. This is a at-home sensitive peel. So still in that dropper, you can just drop it on your skin and you're gonna feel a little bit of a tingle. So it's about 10 minutes, but again, it's a very light peel, but it's about 10 minutes and then you wash it off with cool water. So it's just helping to resurface, clear any impurities, and this is 10% AHAs, 2% BHAs. Again, you're gonna hear a lot of the same chemicals, but this has 1 to 2 times per week. I kind of stick to 1 time a week at the most because I'm using a lot of other things as well, and I don't want to strip my skin or kind of overdo it. But I like the tingle of this. Like, I feel like I can actually see a difference. I feel like my texture looks a little bit better, my skin looks a little bit brighter, but again, I can use it in combination with everything else to still make a good routine. It's not too strong because some acne products can get very aggressive and you can strip your skin or almost remove too many oils. So I feel like you have to find the right combination for you. And with that being said, I feel like this is kind of obvious, but you do have to find what works for you. I think anybody, especially if you have skin issues, you will have a graveyard sometimes of products that you tried things, didn't like. I've heard people say they did something that worked for someone else and they had a crazy reaction to it. So these are things that have worked for me, and I'm finally like, whew, okay. I had a while it got crazy with my skin and I was just like, what is happening? These things have kind of helped me maintain and kind of pulling the reins on the breakouts. So, okay, so now we've talked masks, we've talked cleansing, we've talked serums. Let's talk spot treatment. This is gonna be a little bit of a crazy one. I feel like this is a super simple, affordable throwback. The Persa Gel from Clean and Clear, I have used their spot treatment. They've had different names for it. I have used the Clean and Clear spot treatment since I was in high school. This is essentially their 10% benzoyl peroxide spot treatment, but it's really good for putting directly on the spot. Gonna help dry it out, gonna help pull things to the surface, and it's super duper affordable. Like, but I can tell that this works. If I put this on consistently, it is going to target that pimple, and when I'm spot treating, that's what I'm looking for. Now this is a new girl. She is new to my regimen, but in the last like 2 weeks of using it, I have been very pleasantly surprised. This is the Cosrx AHA and BHA blemish treatment. It is these little, let me see if you can see this. So it's a little cotton ball. I feel like it's blurry. Don't focus on me. So it's a little cotton ball that there's a bunch of them in here. You get a serum, you pour it on these cotton balls. It comes with the tongs, and then you literally take that and apply it directly onto the spot. And when I tell you, I was ready to be like, what is this? I did it, and the next morning, the spots had shrunk so much, like below the skin, because I could feel they were under the skin, which a lot of the time are the hardest to deal with. It's basically, all of these are just basically concentrates of the solutions that work for acne. But I feel like that one worked really well, and I was just pleasantly surprised. So I had to put her in here as a new shout out. But a brand that I also have used and have loved, this is the Badescu Pimple Patch Treatment. So I love pimple patches, period. A lot of times, like the stars and things like that, those are hydrocolloid treatments. So those are helping to dry out surface pimples. So those are helping to pull that fluid out, dry out whiteheads and things like that. These are drying patches, but these are good for under the skin bumps. So if you feel it under there and it's not quite to a head yet, or you don't see it, this is salicylic acid as well as hyaluronic acid, has vitamin C for scarring and things like that. So I really like these because, again, a lot of the times the under the skin bumps are the ones that are really hard to target. Also with this brand, if you do have those surface pimples, that drying solution, I literally just ran out. The drying solution, that pink solution in the bottle, and you take the Q-tip and put it on, you can't go anywhere with those, which is why I like the pimple patches, because these are clear. You can put them on, have them on all day. They are very inconspicuous. Barely can tell that you have them on. That pink solution, you gotta go to bed. It's very obvious that you have it on, but it is going to dry that pimple out. Ulta, TJ Maxx, Urban Outfitters, wherever you can find it, that solution works so good. It's amazing for spot treatment. And then, of course, with all of these, I incorporate my regular things. Like I have moisturizers, I have toners, I have things, but I really wanted to talk to you guys about the acne products that are completely just for acne. And I mentioned Clean and Clear before. So I gotta come in with the product that is really like, when the breakout's getting crazy and I'm like, okay, we gotta do something. I add the Clean and Clear moisturizer to my routine. Again, an old school drugstore, girl, that works. It's a salicylic acid moisturizer. So it's moisturizing, but it also has that acid in it. And it just works. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I did not use this for a really long time. And again, when I started having breakouts again as an adult, I was like, what was working when I was younger? Like, what was working then? Because a lot of times you can get into skincare and there's a lot of words and a lot of chemicals and a lot of numbers, and it's very scientific, which I love. But sometimes I'm like, let me get to the simple things that I know worked. And again, there are higher concentrates of things, there are more expensive versions, but for me, these products have been doing really well and doing really good for my skin as a combination. So I just wanted to share. Maybe it'll help you. Maybe you see a product you've been thinking about that you wanted to try as well. But I hope that somewhere in here you were able to find something that might be of assistance. Again, everything's going to be in the description box. If you have had any issues with adult acne or anything, I would love to hear from you in the comments. Like I said, luckily I feel like I'm entering the stage where we're like, okay, let's just attack the scarring and things like that now. I'm not having a lot of active breakouts. I think I had a moment of purging where I switched the meals and I switched my medication and things like that, and my skin was just trying to get resettled back into my new routine. But we're coming out on the other side now. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.
Can't focus on me, baby, can't